Hi everyone, is my voice audible?
Hello.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so yesterday we have completed our module number 12 that is related to CMS, and today we are going to see with the final module, that is module number 13, PMS, Project Management System. So in this module I am going to explain you all other topics which are not included in our implementation process, that is which are not actually related to BA concepts. So the reason why I included these concepts is, like, no doubt you people are going to keep 5 to 6 years of fake experience. So when you keep fake experience, definitely the interviewer is going to ask the questions from out of the box. That means the interviewers will know that nearly 90 to 95% of the candidates are going to keep fake experience. So they will focus, like, first, in order to identify whether you are a fake guy or not, they will ask you some real time questions apart from your subject. So they will come to know subject you can get from any Google or you can get in any training, but they will ask you some real time questions. So in case if you answer them, then they will think, okay, he's having some knowledge and he might be some real time guy. So for that reason I have included these concepts, and in this I will explain how a project will be initiated and how the project bidding process will be done, and actually what is the participation percentage of a BA in a project, and what are the different types of projects, and what are the different milestones and pricing, and what will be a company approach, how the project budget will be allocated, what are timesheets, what are the standards, what are servers, okay, and what is risk analysis and management. So all these topics we will see. So first, coming to how a project will be initiated. Okay, so a project will be initiated in two ways. One is process re-engineering, and second one is third party realization. So what is this process re-engineering means? In case if your ongoing process will indirectly intimate you that if you are going to use the same process in future, you are going to face some problems, or it is the time for you to do some enhancements for your project, or it is going to show some indications that you will be facing problems, or the existing method will not be valid in future days. So in this condition situations, you will go for process re-engineering. Okay, then second one is third party realization. Third party realization means if you are going to see a particular application or a website or a particular software with any third party, with any third parties, and if you wish to have same kind of application for your business, then it will be a third party realization. Okay, so in both the cases, what the client will do is, first, whenever he will get an idea of initiating a project, he will do initial analysis. Initial analysis in the sense, he will make some ideas in his mind how the project should work, what we want, and how the process should go. So whatever the thinking that he gets in the mind, he is going to put that in the form of a documentation. So that is nothing but a requirement document or development document. So this document the client is going to give to the IT company. So when you are assigned as a BA for that particular project, you will get that document. That is nothing but requirement document or development document. So this document explains what is this project all about, what we have to do, why client is implementing this project. Okay. Then next, coming to project manager functions. So mainly project manager deals with project planning, initiation, then execution and closure. So this I will explain a little bit later. Then next comes to project bidding process. So how the project bidding goes in a software company means there will be 6 steps. Okay. So the first one is a request for proposal. Second one is request for information. Third one is pre-bidding conference. Fourth one is request for quotation. Fifth one is verification. And sixth one is finalization. So these are the 6 steps. So let me explain these steps. First one is request for proposal. So whenever the client want to initiate a project, is going to send a proposal to the potential IT companies. So what are potential IT companies means? The companies which have the capability to implement the projects. So the client is going to identify those kind of companies and he will be sending proposal to those companies. So this proposal can be sent in different ways. Like the client can give advertisement in the newspaper saying that I am looking for a IT company to develop my project, or he can invite tenders, or he can directly search in Google and take company's address and send a mail or send a post, or he can ask his friends if they know any good IT company to refer him. So these are different sources. But generally, a request for proposal will be just like a form. So the client is going to fill that form and he will send it to the IT companies. Okay. Now assume that client is sending a request for proposal to the 10 IT companies. Okay. Then second one is request for information. So in this step, once the IT companies receives proposal from the client, they have to reply to the client. So the IT companies will reply to the client saying that thanks for showing interest in our company. We are very glad to take your project for further proceedings. So we request you to provide furthermore detailed information about your project. So in this way, they will ask for information. So detailed information about the project. Okay. So this request for information also be just like a form. So the IT companies has to fill. So this request and information will be with IT company, or what the client will do is he will attach this form along with request for proposal and send. Okay. So now all these 10 potential IT companies will reply to the client asking him to give further more detailed information about the project. Okay. Then third step is pre-bidding conference. Now once if the client receives this request for proposal from the 10 IT companies, so what he will do is he will arrange a conference and he will invite all the companies saying that, so I am arranging a pre-bidding conference. You people are invited. This is the time. He will send a individual invitation. This is the time. This is the venue. This is the place. So if you attend to this conference, then I can give complete information for this particular project. Okay. Then all the potential IT companies will attend to this pre-bidding conference. Now it depends upon the client to give the complete information to all the companies at a time or to give information individually. So if he decides to give complete information to all the companies at a time, he will present this project on the stage with the help of projector and explains. Or if you want to give individual information, he will go to each IT company table. He will explain in the laptop in the way of presentation what he wants. Okay. After explaining, he will give the deadline. So this is my project, and I want to you people to give your quotations with best price and with best quality, and the deadline to submit this quotation is so and so date. Okay, in this way you will give deadline for the quotations. Then after attending pre-bidding conference, assume that nearly 4 companies are existed. That means 4 companies are not showing interest. The reasons could be different. Like one company will think, okay, this project is not going to fetch more benefits to them, more profits to them, and they will drop. And another company, whatever the technology the client is asking, it may not be available with them. So they will drop. In this way, assume that 4 companies dropped. 6 companies are live. Then in the next step, that is request for quotation, all the 6 companies will send quotations to the client. Okay. Now client is going to pick all these 6 quotations. You will see which company has forwarded the best price with best quality, and he will select 3 among them. Okay. Then in the next step verification process, the client will do verification. So you will personally visit to the IT companies, and you will check what kind of infrastructure they have, how many employees they have, what is the technology they are using, whether they have done recently any projects or not, what is the success ratio, okay, and what is the share of this particular company in the market, stock market. So whether there are any loopholes. So what kind of technology, whether they are using latest technology or outdated technology. So all these things you will do verification. Okay. Then next one is finalization. So in this step, the client will start bargaining with these 3 companies. So whichever the company accepts his price, then the client is going to give project to that particular company. Okay. So once the company receives the project, then the concerned team, they are going to assign this project to the project manager. Then the project manager will finalize the resources, and he will ask the BA to prepare SOW, that is statement of work. So this is how the project bidding process goes in a IT company. Okay. Then next we will see with some other things. So the first one is BA proportion. That means what is the contribution of BA towards the project. So the first one is 15% of percentage of the time will be allocated to the BAs. Out of the total time that is given by a client, in that 15% of the time will be given to the BAs. For example, if your project is 1 year, if the client says that you have to complete the project within 1 year, so out of 1 year, the BA will be getting 45 days of time to complete his activities. Now, he is not going to use these 45 days continuously. So he will divide these 45 days as per the phases. That means in analysis, he will take 15 to 20 days. In designing, he may take 2 days. In development, he may take 4-5 days. In testing, he may take 4-5 days. In this way, it is divided. Okay. Then second one is 12 to 16% of the team size should be BAs. Okay. That means if your entire team size is 100 members, then there should be minimum 12 BA should be there, or maximum 16 BA should be there, who is going to handle that entire project. So work is divided among these BAs, 12 to 16%. So some BAs are placed in a development phase, and some BAs are placed in testing phase in that way. Okay. If your team size is 50 members, then there should be 6 to 8 BAs. If your team size is of 25 members, then there should be 3 to 4 BAs. So in this way, the BAs will be recruited. Okay. So here you are going to get an important interview question. So the interviewer will ask you in a tricky way. First, he will say, what is your team size? Then if you say a random figure, the next question is how many BAs were there? So you have to calculate in this way. If you say a random figure, ensure that 12 to 16% of that figure should be BAs. Okay. Then next one is project sizes. So what are the different sizes means, like projects will be divided into 3 categories: small projects, medium projects, and large projects. So small projects means if you are going to complete the project below 500 hours, if you take below 500 hours to complete the project. Now 500 hours in the sense, we are not going to calculate 24 hours a day. We are going to calculate only 8 hours per day, because every employee is going to work minimum of 8 hours. In that way, we will calculate. And if you are taking above 500 hours and below 1000 hours, that means between 500 to 1000 hours, it will be a medium project. Okay. And if you are taking above 1000 hours, then it will become a big project, large projects. Okay. Then next one is coming to project types. So this I already explained in module number 1. So we have two types: fixed bid and retainer or billing. So fixed bid means the cost of project is fixed. For example, the client says, this is my project, I am going to pay you $5,000 and you have to complete within 5 months. So here the client is not going to bother about the resources. So you can utilize your resources how many you want. You can keep 10 resources or 100 resources. It's your wish. Only thing is you have to complete the project within the budget and within the timeline. That is fixed bid. And second one is a retainer or billing. So here the cost of project depends upon the number of resources we are utilizing. So the client is going to say, I want one project manager, one BA, 4 testers, 4 developers for my project. And I'm going to pay $200 for project manager, $180 for BA, and $150 for each tester and developer. Okay. So that is nothing but billing or retainer projects. Then next one is project milestones and pricing. So these milestones and pricings are correlated. Milestones are nothing but targets. So generally in the project, what happens means, like there will be an agreement. How it goes means, like in case if you are going to complete this target, we are going to release this much of amount. In this way, there will be a agreement. So generally these milestones and pricings will be four milestones will be there in a standard process: milestone 1, milestone 2, milestone 3, milestone 4. And in the same way, the pricing also divided into 4 parts, 4 ratios. For example, let us assume that the cost of your project is $6,000. So it is divided into 4 equal parts. That is 25%, which comes to $1,500. So the client will say, if you are going to complete milestone 1, we are going to release first $1,500. If you are going to complete milestone 2, we are going to release second $1,500. If you are going to complete milestone 3, we are going to release third $1,500. And if you complete the final milestone, we will release the final payment. So in this way, the things will be done. So generally in the milestones means we will define in milestone 1 what we have to do. So for example, we will say, okay, in milestone 1, we are going to do enterprise analysis, and then we will gather requirements and prepare SRS document. So these are the targets in milestone 1. So in case if you are going to complete that, the client will release $1,500. And we will say in milestone 2, we are going to like design prototypes and presentation to you and take sign off. Okay. So if you are completing that milestone 2, then you will release 50%. And in the milestone 3, we will say we will complete the entire development part and testing part also. So if you complete that, the client is going to release the third $1,500. And in the fourth milestone, we will say we are going to do beta release. That means if you are going to keep the project in production, the client will release the final payment. So this is nothing but milestones and pricing. Okay. The next one is company approach. So company approach will be same like milestones, but in company approach, you are going to explain in detail, in elaborate way. So we will say once you take up the project, what is the approach you are going to follow, how you are going to do implementation process for this particular project. So you will say to the client saying that in stage 1, we are going to do enterprise analysis, requirement gathering, and prepare SRS document. But here we will specify in enterprise analysis, we are going to use SWOT analysis or gap analysis. In requirement gathering, we are going to do with brainstorming or JAD analysis. Okay. And for preparation of SRS document, we are going to follow this process. In this way, we will elaborate in detailed way. And second one is stage 2. Stage 2, we are going to prepare and land up prototypes and mockups. So whatever the process you follow for designing the prototypes and mockups and how you are going to present and how you are going to take sign off, that you will explain. And in the third stage, you will say we are going to complete front end and back end development. And in the fourth stage, we are going to do testing. So we will do like unit testing, integration testing, system testing, regression testing, all testings, and we will submit the testing report. And in phase 5, we are going to move the project to the production. So in this way, you will explain about your approach. Okay. So just go through the notes once. If you complete, just let me know. I will go to next page.
Done. 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 Done.
Then next one is working in a project. So mail managing. Mail managing means how to do your mail management. That means once a project is started, what the project manager will do is going to create different mailing groups. That means for development team is going to create one mail group. For testing team is going to create one mail group. For BAs is going to create one mail group. For what we can say for solution architect and functional heads is going to create one mail group. So in this way, you will create a mail group, and as a BA, you are going to coordinate with all the team members. That means you will coordinate with testers, developers, everyone. So your mail ID will be added in each and every group. So now what happens means a lot number of mails will be flowing into your mailbox. So nearly daily you will be getting nearly 300 to 400 emails. So now you will be confused to which email ID you need to action. Okay. So for that purpose, you need to do your mail management. How you are going to do means here there are some points which you need to remember. So first one is you should not delete any kind of mail. Okay. You have to achieve it. You should not delete any kind of mail. Then second one is try to keep the entire communication through mail only with all the groups. So like whenever you get a mail, just don't go to them and do a oral communication. Even if you do oral communication, whatever you do, you have to keep it in the mail format. So written communication should be mandatory. And third one is whenever you are replying to a mail, you have to click reply all and give reply. So whenever if you get a mail, don't go to new mail and create a new mail. Here you will lose communication. Why? Because if there is some incident happening, okay, if you create a new mail, the chain will break. So ensure that the entire information should available in only one mail in tailoring process. Okay. So if you keep on reply all, then whenever you get a mail, if you go to down to that mail, every information will be available. Okay. So sometimes the mail problems will go for 2 months, 3 months. So at that time, you will lose the communication. So you have to click reply on and reply, and you should not change the subject matter. So if you change the subject matter also, you will lose. Okay. Then next one is in case if your mail ID is in to field, that means it is for your action. You have to take a action on that mail. If your mail ID is in CC field, that is it is for your information. Just they are informing you. No need to take any action. Okay. And there will be many repeated mails or regular mails. Okay. So what you need to do is you have to create folders in your mailbox and give rules. For example, if development team is sending to is sending a mail to you, it is not that much important. Like just they will send the information. So what you can do is you can create a folder like saying that development mails, and you can give a rule. So if you are going to get mail from that particular mail ID, so that mail should be transferred to that folder in this way. So it will reduce your work. Okay. And next one is if you need to pass information to outside stakeholders, you have to keep a CC to that mail. Okay. And in case if your mailbox is getting full, you should not delete mails. You should call your networking people. So they will empty your inbox. They will take a backup and you can use that mail. Okay. So these are some things which you need to do. Then next comes to project budget. So once the project is allocated, then the client is going to give some project budget. And this budget can be with project manager or can be with HR team. So whenever you want to go for team outing or meeting clients, that means if you are in one place and your client is in another place, so for the traveling expenses, or if you are in one country and if a client is in another country, or for that on-site visits, so you are going to take price amount from this allocated budget. Okay. Then next one is timesheets. So this timesheets is very much important for retainer or billing projects. Okay, the client is going to release the payment as per this timesheets. So there will be different formats. Like some companies will follow register system. Like whenever you enter into the company, you have to register your name. You have to enter the details, your name and login time, and again while going log out. Or some companies will follow thumb impression system. You have to give thumb impression or face recognition or ID card recognition. So these are different process. So what the client will do is like he will ask the attendance sheet and the company is going to provide. So for each and every employee, they will take in time and out time and they will calculate and they will release the payments in retainer or billing projects. Okay. Then some companies what they do is like they have separate software like HR portal. So once you enter into the company, you have to open HR portal and you have to sign in HR portal and you have to keep on update. While going to the home, you have to keep update what you have done on that day. That is from 9 to 10 you were in meeting, from 10 to 12 you were doing some documentation, and 12 to 1 you are explaining to the tester, and 1 to 2 you were in lunch. In this way you have to enter. Okay. Then next one is quality audits and standards. So here we are going to specify what kind of standards we are going to follow, whether we are following CMMI standards or whether we are following our own internal and external standards, whatever we are going to specify here. Then next comes to servers information. So under this, we will give servers information, how many servers you are maintaining and who is responsible for that server and what kind of work we have to do. Okay. Then next one is Gantt charts. So these Gantt charts are prepared by project manager. Okay. So we are going to prepare in Excel sheet. So one side you will be taking the number of requirements and another side we will be taking the number of resources available. For example, assume that there are 400 requirements and 40 resources are available. Okay. So each resources is going to get 10 requirements. So in this way, the project managers are going to prepare Gantt charts. Okay. Then next one is why the project will be getting failure. What are the reasons? So these are the reasons. The first one is incomplete requirements. If BA is going to give incomplete requirements, and if you start the project with incomplete requirements, then there may be chances that the project may stop in the middle. Okay. Then second one is lack of user involvement. That means if client is not showing interest, so he will give a project and he says that you have to complete this project within 6 months or 7 months. Then assume that the client is not bothering for 2 or 3 months, is not actively participating. Then also there are chances the project will get failure. Then lack of resources. Now, lack of resources in the sense for your project, like you need at least 100 team members, but you are managing with 80 members. Now, what happens? Each and every employee will get overwork. So, in this overwork, they will be overstressed. They won't keep that much of concentration on the project. So, it may lead to failure. Then next one is unrealistic expectations. That means once you keep the project in the development process, while doing developing, if you get unrealistic problems, then also the project will get failure. Then lack of executive support. That means for a project manager, if other team members are not supporting, that means let us say lead developer or lead tester or functional heads, if there are any ego feelings or some attitude issues, then also the project will get failure. Okay. Then next one is change requirements and specifications. So change requirements means, as I said, we should not keep on changing the requirements. If you keep on changing the requirements, the quality of the project will be damaged. So if quality damages, the project will get failure. Okay. So these are the reasons why the projects will get failure. So just go through the notes.
Done. Done. Done.
Okay. Then next we will see with risk analysis and management. So what is risk means? An uncertain event or condition which is going to show impact on cost, time, scope, quality of a project. Then we will consider that as a risk. Okay. So why we are going to do risk analysis means to identify whether the current project is going to bear more than the organization capacity risk or not. Oh, okay. So for that purpose, we will do risk analysis, and we have some factors to determine risk analysis. What are those means? It is based on a risk identification, a risk assessment, risk response planning, risk avoidance, risk rating. So what is risk identification means? The process of identifying the risk, whether the risk is a business risk or operational risk or technical risk. So that comes under a risk identification. Then a risk assessment. It is nothing but the process of identifying the probability of the identified risk. For example, if you identify that there is a technical risk in this project, then in risk assessment, we will identify what is the probability, how much probability of occurring this identified risk, whether it is 20% or 40% or 60%. Okay. Then next one is risk response planning. So it is nothing but the plan which we are going to do to reduce the risk occurring. Whatever the plans we are going to do to reduce the occurrence of the risk. That is nothing but risk response planning. So under this, you will have risk avoidance, risk transfer, risk migration. Okay. So risk avoidance means how to avoid the risk, how to be silent whenever the risk causing activities are taking place, or what we need to do to avoid this risk. So like we should not take any new activities which are going to create another risk. So risk avoidance explains what is the procedure we are going to follow. Then risk rating. That means before keeping the risk into rectification process, we are going to rate that risk based on the risk calculation methods. Okay. So these are the 5 factors which we are going to use to determine risk analysis and management. So once you identified the risk, then you will know how to do the project. So what method we need to follow, which one will be the best. Okay. Now from day one, I was saying that project manager is going to do like BA is going to do this, BA is going to do that. If everything is done by the BA, what kind of role the project manager plays? Actually, what is the difference between a project manager and a BA? Okay. So the roles of project manager are like project initiation, planning, execution, control, closure. So project manager is going to take active part in all those roles: initiation, planning, execution, control, closure. But the BA role is related to SDLC, that is software development lifecycle, which comes in execution part. So the BA is going to take more active part in execution. So he is going to take part in analysis, designing, development, testing, implementation, post implementation support. Okay. So project manager is accountable for overall project coordination and the successful implementation of all deliverables on time, to budget and match it to requirements. Then compared to an orchestra conductor who coordinates the work of a team of specialists. Okay. So business analyst leads during the analysis phase and supports during all other phases. Increasingly leads during user acceptance testing. So he's going to actively participate in initiation, analysis, design, construction, testing, implementation, closure, and post implementation support. Okay. So just go through the notes.
Done.
Done. Done.
Done.
Done.
Done.
Done.
Okay. So this is our module number 13. By this we have completed all theoretical modules. So next week will be your last sessions. So next week, first day, we will see with two real-time project scenarios. I will take two real-time projects and I will explain what a BA is going to do from day one till the project goes into production. And then after that, the second day, I will explain how to prepare your resume and what type of interview questions you are going to get and how to clear your interview. So I will give some tips. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
thank you.